Well, that was something else, that's for sure. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Cody Curtis, and I'm back. I'm introducing my first movie review since leaving YouTube for a little while and then coming back. But first, before I get into anything about Ari Asther, about Midsommar, and my personal thoughts on the matter, please do me a favor. If you're new to the channel, please give this video a like, and please feel free to subscribe. I'm back to YouTube, so that means I'll be bringing more movie reviews to you, possibly some music video / Broadway video content. So if you are interested in any or all of that, please do me a favor and join the fray of nerds who love cinema. But guys, we got to talk about one of the best films I've seen so far this year. Ari Aster's second film, Midsommar. Now, Midsommar is about a group of Americans led by Florence Pugh and Jack Rayner who decide to go on a trip. They're not really in the best place in life, so they decide to go to Sweden and experience the summer solstice, or, you know, a certain celebration that goes on every 90 years inside Sweden. And once they're there, some really insane stuff goes down. And that's really all I'm going to say, because the trailers didn't really give much more than that, and I don't want to spoil this film for you guys if you're interested in seeing it. This is not only one of the best films, it's one of the most artistic films, and one of the most unique films I've seen in a while. I know that many people have brought up the fact that this film reminds them of The Wicker Man, and that makes it less than original, but the fact is, I haven't seen the original Wicker Man. I've seen The Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage, but that's besides the point. I haven't seen that original film, so I can't really draw a comparison on that. All I can draw a comparison on is my own personal experience with Midsommar, and what Ari Asther was able to do with it is nothing short of masterful. Asther shows once again why he is a master behind the camera. Not only does he give phenomenal performances, we'll talk about those in a second, but he also manages to give cinematography that, very much like the film itself, is very, very unique. The color palettes across the board, be them in the dark or in the light, are fantastic. And one of the most unique things that I find about this film is the fact that not many people, I think, are going to classify it as a horror film, because 90% of this film takes place in the daylight. Although there are some disturbing and horrific things that happen, all of it happens during the day, and that makes it something pretty unique. Now we gotta talk about the performances. As we know with Hereditary, Toni Collette was phenomenal, and what Ari Asther was able to do is get phenomenal performances across the board. He does the exact same thing here, although I will say, I think Florence Pugh, although her performance is very, very good, and very great even, I don't think it's as good as Toni Collette's. Just a little bit. It might be a matter of experience, or life, or what have you. But I still think that Florence Pugh deserves some kind of award recognition, because she was excellent in here. Same can be said with Jack Rayner, or even Will Poulter. And Will Poulter in this film, he was excellent. He was funny, and that's one of the best things about this film. Everybody has been saying that this film can be treated as some kind of a dark comedy, and they're absolutely right, and most of that boils down to the comedic timing and the brilliant performance that Will Poulter gives in here. Alright, now we gotta talk about the disturbing imagery inside of this film, because it is prevalent, but very much along with this disturbing, gory imagery is Ari Aster's social message. Very much like Hereditary had some commentary on griefs, depression, and families, this film has a lot to do with relationships. It's got a lot to say with grief, relationships, depression, and how we handle those situations. Although I can't say I was expecting as much of a negative viewpoint with relationships as were portrayed in here. And besides the graphic imagery portrayed on screen, I think that might be one of the bigger turnoffs to people, even if you are a major film lover. If there's one thing you guys should know about me, is that although I love horror, although I love action, although I love great storytelling, I'm not one of those people that loves gore for the sake of gore. There are those people out there, and all the more credit to you. That's a fantastic thing. But for me, if gore and blood and disturbing imagery, if it's in a film without any kind of purpose whatsoever, because that stuff just doesn't interest me. It's gross. It's not intriguing. But what Asther has managed to do, along with Hereditary, is that create meaning behind all the disturbing imagery. There's a point and a purpose why it's here. There may be some traditions, there may be some orientation, there may be some certain situations of which all of these images are needed on screen, and I can tell you 100% they are. If there are any issues that I could possibly have with Midsommar, I would say that it's probably because of the runtime. The runtime is about 2 hours and 25 minutes long, and so at certain points this movie does start to slow down a little bit, and there are some points where I felt where the movie and the characters it wasn't exactly moving in a cohesive way. And at one point during this film, there is a character introduced. This character is supposed to be a very vital piece of this plot and a very vital piece of this Swedish community that all of these characters are interacting with, except he really only shows up, I think, a grand total of 10 minutes of screen time. And with that 10 minutes of screen time, I don't think the character was utilized to the best of his ability. And I don't really think that the explanation that they give for him being around, I don't think it was clear enough. I would have liked to have seen him on screen for at least maybe 20 to 30 minutes so that all of that could be cleared up, maybe get a better sense of who this character is. But other than that, guys, I don't have anything to nitpick or complain about, because Midsommar, as far as a film is concerned, it is fantastic. This is a very polarizing film for sure, so I can't clarify whether any of you out there are going to like it or not. So it's one of those films where I really have to suggest that if you're someone watching this video, as long as you're of age or you can handle this kind of thing, you go see Midsommar. If you're a film lover, you definitely have to go see Midsommar. Because if there are any of you that want to break into the film industry eventually, either as an actor, a director, a cinematographer, this is the perfect film to take a look at. Because the performances, the cinematography, the direction, all of it is masterful work. And I am going to be starting something new on my channel, guys. I know that when I was on YouTube before, I had a rating system, because rating systems are fun and everything. I might come back with that, but at least for the first few movie reviews, I'm not going to have my rating system back. I'm not going to have any rating system, because I think it's more important that you get the details of what's going on in a movie and what's going on, and the details of whether you should see it or whether you shouldn't see it. I don't think the grade or the letter or the phrase, I don't care what it is, I don't think it matters. What matters is what the reviewer has to tell you about the film. So please, coming from me, like I said, with Midsommar, no grade at all, please just go see it if you are a film lover, or if it feels like this film is going to intrigue you. Thank you guys so much for showing up to the channel. Thank you so much for showing up to the video. It's been a long time since I've been back. It's been a few months, but I can tell you I'm more excited than ever to be back here and to produce content for all of you. And you know what it means. It's time to close out this video with the phrase that started it all. So if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right there and subscribe and become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. You all have a fantastic day.